Alrighty folks, want to welcome you back to another video from Yates Computers Tips and Reviews. So this one is something that everybody will probably be going through here if your computer is possible to do this. A lot of the older computers cannot do this. So again, welcome to another video from Yates Computers Tips and Reviews. Now, this is upgrading from Windows 10 to Windows 11. It's a free upgrade that's available. I've done one video that was hand cammed, not very good, but I wanted to do another one on this one because we're getting down to, by the time this video is out, October of 2022. Support stops October of 2025. I know it's a ways away, but there's good features available in this version of Windows that is really a helpful thing that kind of recommend a lot of people when you have the chance to go ahead and move up when you can. Some businesses and some other things are still having a little issues with compatibility. Gaming and other factors are still having a lot of issues with Windows 11's speed and other factors of that sort, but most places I think it's pretty good to go with. So of course, if you're running Windows 10, you go to your updates. It will then, you can check to see if your computer is compatible with this, to see if you are enabled to run Windows 11. This computer is able. I already did the download because that took a long time to do, but once you download it, it'll tell you, you can see the basic screen that a restart is needed, blah 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 blah, it's ready to do its process. So everybody's seen my screens from all the Windows 10 videos and all those things, and I like a lot of those features that Windows 11 has, a lot of security features. So I wanted to try to go for it now and not wait. So basically I wanted to show everybody what is truly involved, what happens for you to actually see everything that goes on. It may take quite a while for this process to complete, but this is something that I want people to see. I want you to understand what the process is. It's basically the same as if you went from Windows 7 to Windows 10. Difference is probably most people that went from Windows 7 or Windows 8 to Windows 10, your computer will not be compatible with Windows 11. So this is really where it's kind of hard to say, oh, it's the same as you did before, but truthfully you have not done that on that computer. Odds are that computer you upgraded to Windows 10 is not able to roll to Windows 11. So this is why I wanted to do this video, to elaborate this point, because a lot of people make it sound so easy that anybody can do this. There's software out there, there's cracks and other things out there that will bypass some of the security features that will let you install Windows 11 on an older machine that is not truly supported. They've warned against doing that. They're talking about allowing people to install Windows 11 on other computers but not have the support. So there's still a lot going on out there with this whole argument over this Windows, who can upgrade, who can't upgrade, what features you're going to have, what features you're not going to have. There's a lot of debate over that. But like I've told a lot of people out there, you know what? If you're at a point where you're running a computer that cannot support the new version of Windows, I pretty much recommend you just go out and buy a new one. There's a lot of reasons why. The main reason why is you're probably running something very slow and it's time to upgrade. So this is really one of the factors that comes into play a lot, is that people have these computers, they think they're great, they think they're the best, they think they're okay, But in the ultimate world of how these things are, is the performance difference you're gonna get for buying that new one is huge. I'm not talking like a little bit. Most of it is a huge performance difference. So I wanted to elaborate on some of these things because I'm already recommending to a lot of people to buy new computers as long as it supports Windows 11. I know it's a little early in the facts of this being rolled out, but you could still run Windows 10 on that Windows 11 capable machine, but usually they're a lot faster than what the person is running now. That's one of the minimum requirements, is that they're just so much faster. These laptops and stuff that they have out there, the minimum requirement is just so high that it's really worth upgrading just to get to that platform and that hardware that is out there. So I wanted to elaborate this. I wanted to go through this. I wanted to show this actually how this actually runs. And I'm sure people have just seen how weird that just jumped. Went from 0 to 54 to what was it, 70 something to 100, and it's done. So it's kind of an interesting look at something that a lot of computers do. Some of them go up in slower increments, but I wanted to show this. I wanted people to see the difference. Because there is a difference, and if you don't do this a lot, and if you're only doing this on your computer at home, or someone you know is trying to do this, any little odd variable can get you confused, can cause an issue. And that can cause you hours and hours and hours of work to do something that really is not that hard. It's just what happened. Why did this change? Why did the computer reboot? Why is this and why is that? So there's a lot of little factors. So I wanted to go through and show this. Right now my system's rebooting. As you can see from the video, what's going on. Now it comes up and it says it's working on your upgrade. So I wanted to show the original way when you go in there, how you get it in Windows updates. You download it, you let it run, it'll reboot your computer. Usually when these get up to about 30%, they reboot again. I don't know on this update if it'll do that, but we'll be able to see all that. These are some of these factors that people don't realize. I've helped people with this because it shuts down. Some shut down at 60% or 66% and reboot. And that person kind of doesn't know what's going on. They shut it off. They start calling people, why did this stop? Why? Just let it run its thing. Let it do its process. That is very important to do, is just let these updates and upgrades do the work they need to. Don't try to stop them. If it reboots, let it reboot. Let it do its thing. So this is really what this video is about, is actually showing everybody how this all works. As you can see, it kind of climbed really quickly to 31%, and then it holds. And it'll do that at multiple points. And it'll do that for different kind of upgrades and updates and patches. I'm sure everybody's seen it if they do up their updates and they do regulatory maintenance on their computers, that you'll see some of these little different things. Each one has their own little quirk, their own little way they react. So I really wanted to show this from this view. And again, this might take quite a while. This computer is not really that slow, so I'd imagine it won't be too slow itself. But we just have to wait, let it run its process. once it's done that, you'll actually see the first login screen. You'll see everything from Windows 11. And again, don't shut off your PC. I always recommend, if you do any kind of serious upgrade, update, BIOS update, if you have a UPS, a battery backup, I recommend you use that on your system. That can save you a lot of problems, because it's quite amazing. In the old days, when I used to do a BIOS backup, you want to talk about the only time of the year your parallel will fail is usually then. It's always in those awkward situations where you really need it not to do that. Sometimes it does it. So as for IT personnel, someone at home, small businesses, if that can save you a little bit of a headache by having a UPS on it, that at the time you do it, it doesn't have to be on that computer all the time, but at the time you actually work on it. At work, at the workstation, when I work on other computers, those computers that I always work on are on a UPS, because you might be in there changing some settings, some configurations, some other things where you're right in the middle of something and the power goes out. It might save some of those settings and then be uncompatible because some of the other settings that you were going in to change hadn't taken effect yet. So then you can have a headache and have to go in and do a restore, recovery, whatever you need to do to get that thing back up, and then go in and fix it. And again, you saw how it jumped from 31 to 50 some percent, and then it kind of incremented up in a couple big numbers. Again, that's something I wanted to point out, because a lot of people question and ask about these things. To me, that's not something to worry about. You want to just make sure it completes the process, because a lot of people ask, well, why did it do this? Why did it skip, from 30 to 25? That's the engineering, that's the programming. Maybe that was simple coding, maybe that's stuff that didn't need to change. That really is not a factor to you doing this. As long as it runs complete and it runs good, you're fine. Don't worry about all the little tiny things. So these are some of those things that really a lot of people kind of question and ask me about, because it's not the usual way it would usually run. So it makes them concerned and makes them wonder, why did the system do what it did? And it's not really a factor that anybody should really worry about. Now, if it fails at a certain point, that's different. If you get up, we've had that problem with Windows 10 on a couple computers. It would get up to about 95% and fail. Get up to 95% and fail. And what we found was it was actually a video driver that it had an issue with. We had to go in and take out the video driver and a couple other things and run it again, and it ran through. So you have important factors where these numbers can come and play, but if it skips certain numbers or goes in a certain order that you don't expect, just let it be. Don't worry about it, as long as it completes. If it fails and you know where it failed and you run it again and it fails at that same point, then that's an area where you can address and you can actually troubleshoot from that point on what's going on in the system. But I wanted to touch on that because that is an important factor about that percentage. If you get into that particular event or problem where it's failing at an exact same point over and over again, and what was funny is this was 2 computers out of, I believe, 7 that were the same exact make and model, purchased at the exact same time. So this is those weird little issues I brought up before, where mixed match memory could be effects, it could be a lot of different things, but for this weird reason it happened to be some kind of driver issue. And we're not exactly too sure why it was just those two computers. Why 2 out of 7 failed at the exact same point. One of them was actually just reformatted and clean slated and reinstalled because it didn't have much software in it. So that's just one of the little factors. Now you can see it's already come up. Now I'm running Windows 11. Come up, there's my login. You log into Windows 11. And of course, if you have a newer computer, a little bit faster than mine, it should take less time. Just mine took forever for the download for some reason. I don't know why, but it took a long time to download that file. And I said, you know what? I want to do another video because the other one I did was not a very good grade, very good quality, but it was showing you all the different multiple steps. This one is a complete video of the upgrade, not an install, not a clean install. This is the upgrade. So this is probably what most people will be doing if you buy a computer nowadays and you decide, nope, I want to stick with Windows 10, I don't want to upgrade to Windows 11. But here's the other factor. You can buy a new computer today, and most computers today, when you buy it, will ask you right from the start, right when you boot in the first time and you create your user account, do you want to go Windows 10 or upgrade to Windows 11? So if you stay with Windows 10, you're fine. You can stay with Windows 10 for a couple more years and know you have the option to go to Windows 11. And this is the process to do that. And I don't hear a lot of people telling people and informing people of that. If you buy a new computer, yeah, stick with the Windows 10 for a couple years, wait till Windows 11 is more stable, or if you want to, go to Windows 11. A lot of security features, a lot of things that is involved in Windows 11. And there is the first look of Windows 11. As you can tell, there's a few little minor things that have changed. Now you get this weird tile box for startup. All your programs, you go here. It's no longer over here on the side. It's now in the middle. All my programs are still there. Nothing major in there. Other thing, now your tile bar's in the center. You can actually change that position back to the side if you want. A lot of people kind of liked it in the middle because it was something different. It was something more unique. It made it easier for some people to operate. And I thought that was kind of funny when people told me, I kind of like it there. It's easier to operate. And I went, why? I don't get why it'd be easier. Well, because if you're working on something here and you want to open a file, you go here and you can open up your file. Instead of going way over here, you just go down. A lot of people like that option. So as much as a lot of people said, hey, I don't like that, blah, 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 the only dispute I have with that, with Microsoft, is they added that feature and they forced it to be the feature you use. And the problem with that is let's say I'm upgrading 200 computers and they don't like that feature. Then I have to go in and change that feature back to the original way of putting it to the left, and do that 100, 200 times. Where I would rather have that user have the option to say, oh yeah, let me put it in the middle then and I'll move it. because you might have a workstation with multiple users and one person wants it in the middle, one person wants it on the left. So you might configure it a little differently per user. Other thing that I don't like about Windows 10 and I don't like about Windows 11 is all the bloatware software they put in. All the junk software that loads. Now that I'm Windows 11, there'll be a bunch of junk software I'll have to take out. Problem is it's not per system. A lot of this stuff, let's see. Looks like it didn't really add too much right now, is per user, not per system. I want to state this again, per user. And the problem with that factor is every user that logs in will have this bloat software loaded in, like Microsoft Cloud, all this other type of software that they bloated in there, pushed in there. Meetings software, your let me think which one it's called, People, your Zoom, your all this other stuff that it's just going to pump in there and push in there. And then you go in as the admin and you set this up the first time, and you go through and you say, I don't want this in there, I don't want Zoom in there, I don't want this People showing, I don't want this, I don't want that, that it does not carry over that setting. So when you have a new user that logs in, like Office, it loads in the software for you to go buy Office, a link. Even though you install an Office version, most of the time that Office bloatware is still there. Unless you go through their link and say, okay, I want to install and I want to use this key code and this and that, then it goes away. But if you load in an Office CD or an executable and you load that in there, most of the time that bloatware is still there along with it. And then you have to go in and remove that and all the different users. So that's one of the little issues that we have. So one of the key points that I bring up is don't buy too small of a hard drive, because you got to take into account all of that bloatware per user, all save files per user. That makes those drives more valuable and more space you're going to need. So now that you've seen the upgrade and how it is, if you go into your settings here, I believe it's under settings, and then you can go to, it should be toolbar, let me find it, storage, there's all these settings. These are all new settings that are in Windows 11. You have your updates. Make sure you run your updates. Here's one thing that I found with Windows updates that I've just found, that running Windows updates here is not really all your updates. I found this just lately. Where is it? Optional updates. You have another category here, in here, that's optional updates. Had to run this on my little PC that I do my capture videos on, because I was having problems with the audio. I believe this is where I found the updates to fix that. It gave me 6 updates in here that were motherboard related updates that were not in the Windows update box. And it's weird because it'll give you BIOS, it'll give you other little weird things up here, but you got to check that other one. So this is just a little preview of this, because this is the differences that I found. I believe under personalization, let's see, I know the taskbar. Where are you? Taskbar behavior. Under taskbar behavior, that's where you can move it. So it can look the same. The little tile boxes when you hit this, I actually like that because I personalize it. I remove all of those and only put the programs that I use, so that I don't have to go in here and scroll up and down to find what I want. So it's a quicker, easier way if you use Office, let's say Outlook, Paint, if you use different programs, calendar, calculator, settings, control panel. You can put those shortcuts kind of in there instead of trying to go, okay, I need to go to apps, I need to go to administrator, I need to go to accessories, and then I need to open Paint. It's much easier to just put the Paint icon there and you click on that and it opens up Paint. So I wanted to go through that and really elaborate that and show that part off. So I think I'm going to wrap that up for the upgrade. This is basically an upgrade. This is how you upgrade from Windows 10 to Windows 11. Not too painful. There might be some configurations you need to go in and reset afterwards. I can see the Wi-Fi is not connected. I can see a couple of other minor things, but you know, that's not that bad. But now I'm running Windows 11, and I wanted everybody to be aware of that because, again, when you buy a new system, you might go to Windows 10 for a year, 6 months, whatever, 2 more years, 3 more years, until Windows 10 support stops. This is how you upgrade. This is really a thing that everybody's going to need to know in the future. Alrighty, I want to thank everybody for watching. Make sure you hit the subscribe, the bell, let everybody know I'm out there. Send out the links. Let everybody know. Check out the Facebook. Thank you all for the 2 years of videos that I've been doing now. We're at that big point. I've been doing it for 2 years. Going on to the third here. Let's see what interesting content I can put out for you all. Thank you.